Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Rampage Holiday Bash. Saturday show, boy, sure was nice. 9 o'clock instead of 10? Boy, sure was nice. David Crockett in the house. Boy, sure was nice. How was the show itself? Boy, sure was nice. I think we may have finally found an identity for Rampage. Let's get into this. We kick off um, with a cold open video package, which is great. The opening for Rampage to me is really, really nice. Sets up this sort of idea that we're going to see a lot of action, and boy, they've been getting 4 matches in every time. Jungle Boy against Isaiah Cassidy, good back and forth. Um, we're mixing it up with the Hardy Family Office, and then the Jurassic Express and Christian Cage. Everybody sort of has their different moments. At the end of the day, Jungle Boy wins this match, but gets beat up badly in the process, sort of setting up the idea for that tag match coming up between Hardy Family Office and the Jurassic Express. The commentators on Rampage do a very good job sort of setting the stage for potential first time viewers. So we would have learned that the Jurassic Express are the number one contenders to the tag titles, etc., etc., etc. Ricky Starks talks about Dante Martin a bit. So again, I like the commentators and what they do. Um, Fans want Hook. We hear from Miro, who talks about how he's going to have no flaws when he comes back, etc., etc. Hook versus Bear Bronson, another fantastic exhibition for Hook. He looks really great, throwing Bear Bronson, who's much larger, around. That head and arm suplex in particular was pretty staggeringly great. Eddie Kingston and is sort of hyping up a 6-man match with Daniel Garcia and 2.0. His partners are, of course, going to be Santana and Ortiz. We have that to look forward to next week. Legit Layla Hirsch against Chris Statlander. A good exhibition for both. Statlander gets the win, keeping her strong after her loss in the TBS women's tournament. Very smart stuff. It's nice to have a women's match that doesn't necessarily involve one of the top 3 or 4 players. I think that's very smart to constantly keep women's wrestling on the radar, especially because it has improved overall so much. The pre-show heat, or the pre-match heat between Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes is really fantastic. One of the best of these that we've seen with Mark Henry. And then the match happens, and I was debating with people over text over who should win, and they were all like, Sammy Guevara needs to win, and my contention is Cody Rhodes is the hot hand, and for him to win, which he did, in a match that is well worth watching, it was fantastic. That Cody Rhodes as the TNT champ opens up so many more possibilities, and since that title is now that Dynamite is moving to TBS at the beginning of the year, I think that puts Rampage as the show where the TNT title is defended and is the main title of that show. And I think that that's a great way to identify itself. And watching any number of people going after Cody Rhodes is much more interesting. Sammy Guevara, he's got a long time in the wrestling business, and he's got other things that he can do. And I thought losing in this fashion was really, really good. Sammy's going to get other things to do. And Cody, when I brought up who's going to beat Sammy Guevara, it wasn't as interesting as anybody who somebody put when I was texting with of who could beat Sammy that would be interesting. And they were naming it. And I'm like, now tell me, all of those people, would it be just as interesting or more so if they beat Cody? And they went, yes. Plus add people like Aleister Black. That would be interesting. And just about anybody coming after Cody and beating him. And it's much more interesting. So kudos to AEW. Rampage continues to maintain this very high level of quality. And, you know, the way they honored David Crockett and had him part of things and all the rest of it, just class acts. And I hope the ratings reflect what a good job they did. And, you know, strangely, I think maybe when we get Dynamite to TBS, that might actually help Rampage a little bit. as it will become about TNT anchoring. And boy, if they do good on this Saturday slot, I certainly wouldn't hate to see Rampage move to a better day and time.